So Prince Andrew was on that list of apparently people who had ridden in on the Lolita Express and gone to the Epstein Island and all of this stuff. So
and the West Palm Beach place.
The West Palm Beach place. The
Anywhere
New York
Jeffrey
place.
was, he was.
Yeah.
If Jeff was there, Andy was there.
There's a very famous photo of old Jeffy Epstein and Prince Andrew walking and taking a walk together in 2010. This was after Epstein was convicted on his first pedophilic charges that he, was able to get out of jail for in no time.
It's a really clear photo.
Very, very clear. Two men just enjoying each other's company.
I disagree.
Well, you heard the interview.
That's right.
So these pictures came out. Of course, one of the accusers, or a couple of the accusers maybe, made direct allegations that Prince Andrew, that they had been trafficked to Prince Andrew.
Prince Andrew, yeah. Prince
Andrew, when they were underage, had sex with them, they said.
Yep.
And provided photographic evidence of Prince Andrew at a party with Ghislaine Maxwell in the background. Jizzy Lane?
How many fucking name? What a pompous name. I wish you'd come out of hiding just to say how to pronounce her name, and then she could hide again.
Of course, Ghislaine Maxwell was the girlfriend of Jeffrey Epstein, who it would appear also had a lot to do with the trafficking of underage girls, because,
she knew a lot of people because her father was very, very big, I guess, in the newspaper business.
Yeah. When you read the report, I watched I think Australia did like a 45-minute long kind of full 2020 type investigation explaining the whole story. It was hundreds. It seems like it was hundreds of girls. Like everywhere that he went across in the world, not just in the country, in the world, he had multiple girls every day.
All young.
All giving massages and then doing much more. So Prince Andrew was on this list of people, and his name is brought up every time the same way people bring up the Clintons. They bring up Prince Andrew. Donald Trump gets mentioned, but there's no real evidence that he hung out with Epstein after any of these charges.
Well, he doesn't party or do PDAs. He doesn't party or do public displays of affection.
You're talking about Prince Andrew?
Yes, I believe him. I found his interview to be very believable.
So he did an interview with the BBC. It's just the damnedest thing I ever seen in my life. It really is.
It's a guy not used to anybody coming back at him and making him explain himself.
See, in England, the royal family really doesn't do interviews. Like, they don't do this stuff because they don't have to. They don't have to run for re-election. They don't have to do anything. They just have to sit there and not be pedophiles. That's all you have to do. In the royal family, if you don't be a pedophile and you don't murder somebody and make it really obvious that you're doing it, you're fine. You're for life. You're set. You get to wear a crown. You get to have all the money in the world. You get to be the most important person ever for no apparent reason.
Can I make a prediction?
Yeah.
She's going to strip him of all his royal duties.
The Queen?
Yep.
Ooh.
He is going to be stripped of all his royal title.
And then he's just got to be a guy?
She's going to do it to save the royal family for any further embarrassment. Eventually.
Whoa.
That's my prediction.
You don't think it just goes away?
I think it'll just go away.
No.
I think she'll just be like, hey, Prince Andrew, stop doing goddamn interviews.
No, she approved the interview too.
Yeah,
no one else was for it. Took him a year to get him to do it.
It was a dumb thing to do. It was very stupid to do. It really helps nothing.
I disagree. I think he came off as very convincing.
Okay.
An hour ago, new accusations broke against
who?
The poor prince.
No, it couldn't be.
Different girls or different nights? Or
different thing.
Oh, a different thing?
Prince Andrew accused of using the N-word in fresh accusations against scandal hit royal. Scandal hit Prince Andrew has been accused of using the N-word at a Buckingham Palace meeting with Downing Street advisor of Sri Lankan descent.
Not with the... You can't use...
Is there tape of it?
I don't know. I'm trying to find an article to tweet out.
If you find out that Prince Andrew is a pedophile that uses the N-word, like, come on. What's this royal... He's supposed to be prim and proper, and he's accused of being...
He used it with the A.
That's a little better, I guess, but...
okay, so...
He's now accused. So, Travis, you're telling me that this prince is accused of being a pedophile that uses the N-word.
Yes.
Oh, no.
So this guy, this Sri Lankan advisor, asked Prince Andrew whether the government department responsible for trade could be doing a better job. He says the Duke of York, Prince Andrew, responded, well, if you'll pardon the expression, that really is the blank in the woodpile.
Oh, my God.
I never heard that expression.
Neither have I.
It's British.
Well, if you just find me creating an
I've
expression.
never heard that.
I feel like using
I've heard the living room, the garage.
I feel like using the N-word in England is even worse because it's not like you were raised with it. You learned it and you were like, I got to start doing that. You know what I mean?
I don't. Yeah, but they also, even though they know it's fucked up, they don't have probably the same history of it. Unless it didn't start here. But if it started here, I don't think they have the same history of it.
But they know.
They know it's bad. But what is that in the
N-word in the wood pile?
I've never heard that expression.
No, I've never heard that either. But I bet nobody corrected him. He's the prince.
Yeah.
Oh, he may be a pedophile.
Elvis has left the wood pile. These guys keep fucking these expressions up.
This isn't good.
He might be a pedophile that uses the N-word.
Oh, Mr. Silva's coming out now all these years later with this shit. He could have said this years ago.
Well, maybe they wouldn't believe him until they found out that he was also a pedophile. It's easier to,
Alleged.
And it's fun to pile on.
Yeah, you're like, not only is he a pedophile, use the N-word. What?
Yeah.
You're kidding me.
You just came out with this 6 months ago. Nobody cared.
Right. And it does help that it's right after he does an interview that he looks horrible in.
Yeah, he didn't look. I disagree that he looked horrible, by the way. I thought he was very convincing.
So you've actually changed your opinion.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Look, he covers a lot of ground.
He does. He was very good.
It's a very long interview. I mean, we could go with the clips that were cut, but there's so many great moments. I don't know.
Travis is reading something.
Yep.
What did you find out, Travis?
Well,
Is there new breaking information?
Great joy.
no, I don't want to spoil something that's going to come up in the interview.
No.
But Pizza Express has been flooded with fake reviews.
Oh, no.
I have not read them yet, but I am very excited to.
Do you think there could be some funny ones?
Oh, no. Look, let's just start the interview from the beginning. Do you have the full interview, Troy Kwan? You might have to get the YouTube link.
Yeah. It was in the email. It was in Mike's email.
Yeah, and my email too, so it should be very easy to find.
Mike
there you go.
sent out an email.
There you go.
Right?
Good
Yeah.
evening.
Because, we got some clips, but let me...
Here we go. Well, it's a long one.
It's
49 minutes.
Yeah, and 26 seconds. I was enjoying this so much.
Yeah. I kept looking at what a nice suit he has.
It's a great suit.
I'm like, that motherfucker, that is a great suit.
Because he's not in excellent shape, but the suit fits him like a glove.
It's a perfect, he doesn't look fat in it, but you can see his neck. He's a big jowly idiot.
Yeah.
But he is, that's some goddamn good socks.
I mean,
Great shoes.
They must have a good tailor.
What a nice room that is. I was looking at the aesthetics as well.
Yeah.
And how would she dress for this? Of course, they have fucking uncomfortable king chairs.
Well, imagine if you have a life that's so nice. You get these suits, you get the nice rooms and everything. His life is so cushy, he thinks that maybe he could possibly get away with being a pedophile that uses the N-word. Like, that's getting away with a lot if that's true.
Nice lamps. I wanted to see her shirt is nice. I was looking at I was listening, obviously, but also the clothes they had on.
No, that's part of it.
Nice rug.
Nice carpet. There's a clock there. That's nice, too.
Look at that painting. And the frame, and you think that frame is cheap?
Oh.
A lot of times people look at the painting going, how expensive is that? But come on, it's a gold frame.
Yeah.
It's a very nice frame. It's not like you got that at, Michael's.
Buckingham Palace.
Yeah. Well, let's just see how it started, because I will tell you when I thought, and I had already talked to Jim about this via text, I'll tell you when I thought he realized this was a bad idea.
By the way, they're very polite back and forth. The Brits really are entertaining.
They're great people. Except the ones that are, if any Brits are pedophiles that use the N-word, that's not a great person.
No, but they still speak well.
Nice to be polite. Still nice, good manners,
We've come to Buckingham Palace in highly unusual circumstances. Normally, we'd be discussing your work, your duty. We'll come on to that. But today, you've chosen to speak out for the first time. Why have you decided to talk now?
Because there is no good time to talk about Mr. Epstein and all things associated. We've been talking to Newsnight for about 6 months about doing something around the work that I was doing. And unfortunately, we've just not been able to fit it into either your schedule or my schedule until now. And actually, it's a very good opportunity, and I'm delighted to be able to see you today.
As you say, all of this goes back to your friendship with Jeffrey Epstein.
That's it.
How did you-
There it is. That's the moment.
Yeah,
when
when-
you realize this was bad. When she said this all goes back to your friendship, with the phrase "your friendship with Jeffrey Epstein," the moment when he went like this. Like he went, oh, wait a minute.
56 seconds in, he's probably like, why did I do this?
Because he probably, the way he's phrasing it, he thinks we're going to also be talking about kind of what I'm doing now. And she's like,
We'll get to that.
we'll probably do the majority on Epstein.
She did say which we'll get to. Like she really told him, all right, it's coming, but 48 minutes of pedo questions.
Oh, all right. Do you want to go into the clips that were pulled so we don't end up watching?
Yeah, we can't watch the whole thing.
An hour. It's worth dude. The whole thing is worth watching.
I suggest watching it.
Yeah. Let's go into. Let's just start with 1B and let's start with in this clip. He talks about why Epstein was a good friend. There is still part of Prince Andrew who can recognize that even with all the bad things that Jeffrey Epstein did, the friendship was not, he doesn't chalk it up in the L category.
Right.
Come to Buckingham Palace in highly unusual
Oh, I didn't realize that the beginning was in this clip.
To talk about Mr. Epstein and all things associated. We've been talking to Newsnight for now, and actually it's a very good opportunity.
Here it comes.
Delighted to be
Here's
able
his
to
moment.
see you today.
As you say, all of this goes back to your friendship with Jeffrey Epstein. How did you first become friends? How did you meet?
Well, I met through his girlfriend back in 1999, who, and I'd known her since she was at university in the UK. And it would be, to some extent, a stretch to say that as it were, we were close friends. I mean, we were friends because of other people.
So he's already putting the groundwork in, thinking that from the beginning of this interview, if I say now we weren't very close, the interviewer will probably not focus on this relationship.
She'll let it go. And these guys don't get grilled very often in interviews because there's really nothing to grill them about.
Right. Did she let it go?
She very politely dug her talons in. Oh, boy.
His statement that they were not very close, it fell on deaf ears with this interviewer.
Yeah, she proceeded as if he had said, Jeffrey is my idol.
A lot of opportunity to go to the United States, but I didn't have much time with him. I suppose I saw him once or twice a year, perhaps maybe maximum of 3 times a year. Quite often, if I was in the United States and doing things, and if he wasn't there, he would say, well, why don't you come and use my houses? So I said, that's very kind, thank you very much indeed. But it would be a considerable stretch to say that he was a very, very close friend. But he had the most extraordinary ability to bring extraordinary people together.
He's already going down a bad road. I mean, we know who he brought.
Right, but he means, and he's trying to, like, hey, look, he was trying to say, like, I'm hot shit, and he introduced me to other people who are hot shit, and he introduced them to me.
Right. All he's saying is, look, was I close with him? No. He's one of these, like, super casual, I don't know him too well type of friends that you stay in their house multiple times a year. That's...
Yeah. Fly on their private jet.
Yeah.
We all have friends like that. Well, by the way, we won't talk about the jet. We all have friends like that.
Yes.
Also, his crooked tie is infuriating.
You know, I looked at the crooked tie, and I'm like, should he have straightened that, or is that part of the look? I looked at that as well.
Meaning, is there a style over there that we don't know about?
Or is it not a big deal?
It looks crooked to me.
It looks like shit.
Well, I'll tell you this. I doubt that the interviewer was going to tell him, hey, straighten that tie.
Yeah.
You think he has people, though, that would keep an eye on
It
him?
might have got crooked when he sat, or he might hate people quit futzing with my tie.
What's nice, though, is by the end of this interview, the last thing is people are worried about is whether his tie is
No, because
crooked
he was turning it around looking for a rafter for the other end.
That's the bit that I remember, is going to the dinner parties where you would meet academics, politicians, people from the United Nations. I mean, it was a cosmopolitan group of what I would describe as U.S. eminence.
Was that his?
Yeah. Yeah. U.S. eminence.
Eminence.
Yeah, that's all.
That's all.
Just
That's
got
all
to
you
meet really cool, interesting people.
Yeah.
That's what you guys are failing to mention. Wasn't just a bunch of kids to have sex with.
Yeah. Those are the fun people.
Yeah.
Movie producers and directors.
Yeah. When you weren't being a pedophile, you could really, people had really interesting stories.
Discuss the work of Roman Polanski.
And other filmmakers as well. They talked to him. She had a great question. She said the photo that was taken of you and Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh, because I think then she's going to explain why she's dressed like she's on the cover of Sgt. Pepper's.
She talks to him, and she talks about the photo of him and Epstein. This is 1C, and
I bet she is.
according to him anyway. Yeah. And she says that you were remaining in contact with him after all these charges were filed against him. Well, how was that appropriate? And I think his response
He had a good answer.
Yeah, very, very good answer, actually.
In July, within months, by December of 2010, you went to stay with him at his New York mansion. Why? Why were you staying with a convicted sex offender?
Right. I have always...
See, she could have just said why, but then she had to really frame it. Why are you staying with a convicted sex offender?
You think the way she asks the question really just lays it in?
There's no room for him to get around it.
No. You could tell even when he go, right.
Good question.
Yeah, because if she said, why were you staying with Mr. Epstein, then he could frame it as just, my former friend, Mr. Epstein. But now it's, no, you said, I'm going to be in New York. Maybe there's a convicted sex offender's house that is available.
Yeah.
Ever since this has happened, and since this has become, as it were, public knowledge that I was there, I've questioned myself as to why did I go, what was I doing, and was it the right thing to do? Now, I went there with the sole purpose of saying to him that because he had been convicted, it was inappropriate for us to be seen together.
See, right there. Not inappropriate for me to know you, but he said seen together.
That's a great point.
He said that a few different times about us being seen together. It's all about, and again,
yes,
he should, for the interview, if you're going to do the interview, you got to paint yourself in a better light. And he goes, for us to be seen together.
Instead of saying, like, I don't want anything to do with this sex offender, he's saying, it would be inappropriate. He's a sex offender. People shouldn't know that we're hanging out.
And by the way, what a dumb chat to have while you're walking in a park. Fucking idiot. He should have had that on the phone or in his den.
Yeah, maybe shoot an email over.
Or maybe there was other things they discussed, and maybe Prince Andrew wanted to be outside for that conversation.
Well, they say that a lot of powerful people have conversations on walks. Steve Jobs, not a pedophile, but a powerful person, he used to love having his serious conversations having walks.
And that's because you probably like the same reason Brian Wilson had meetings in the tub.
That's
in the pool. You can't be taped. Or you can be, but it's harder.
Right. That's when you're a powerful person, but you haven't completely lost your mind, like Brian Wilson.
Yeah,
yeah.
Where you have your things outside,
right? Because
it's harder to tape, and the room isn't bugged,
right? A lot of information.
Call, yeah,
nobody's going to come up behind you. Nobody's going to be outside the door with a cup to the ear,
right?
But yeah, but this is also, it goes back to what you were saying about the royal family. Like the royals would talk like that. It's unbecoming of a royal to be seen with.
No.
So since he hasn't had these conversations with people outside of Buckingham Palace, he probably thinks that that's a suitable
for us to be seen together.
Yeah, it goes deeper than that, bud. He's convicted sex offender.
But I mean, that's if you're on this interview to do damage control, that was just a dumb thing he said.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, immediately when this thing became a story, President Trump said, "No, the minute I found out he was doing anything, I stopped hanging out with him altogether. I didn't want anything to do with him." That's how you answer that question.
Yeah.
And I had a number of people counsel me, in both directions, either to go and see him or not to go and see him. And I took the judgment call that because this was serious, and I felt that doing it over the telephone was the chicken's way of doing it. I had to go and see him and talk to him.
Could you pause for a second? I thought he wasn't that close friends with him. Like, I thought they weren't even that close.
His teeth are horrendous.
He's British.
I know. You always hear that, but my God, are they awful?
And you would think the royal family would have the best, right? Like, get some caps put on those.
Anything, have them whitened.
But if you're not that close friends with him,
You don't want to do the chicken's way.
the chickens,
This is chicken.
nobody. He's not close friends with him. And instead of calling him to be like, bro, I'm not hanging out with you anymore. You're a convicted sex offender. That's crazy. He's like, yeah, I know. I went to see him to tell him I couldn't see him anymore.
I want to cross the ocean and tell him and then stay in his house.
That's like when you're like when you're going over to a girlfriend's house to break up with her in person when you know you're not actually going to break up.
No.
You know that's not what you're doing.
No, you're going to get your prick sucked. You're going to get your prick serviced.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I thought we were going to break up, but, she convinced me otherwise. Yeah, okay. I didn't want him to take that chicken's way out.
And I was doing a number of other things in New York at the time. And we had an opportunity to go for a walk in the park. And that was the conversation, coincidentally, that was photographed, which was when I said to him, I said, look, because of what has happened, I don't think it is appropriate that we should remain in contact. And by mutual agreement during that walk in the park, we decided that we would part company, and I left, I think it was the next day. To this day,
Why would you leave the next day?
Yeah.
Spend the night, of course, right?
Yeah.
Hey, I never want to see you again. I'm going to hang out at your house. I'll sleep over, of course.
I'm going to go out in public with you.
Yeah. Coincidentally, hey, we have a picture of you guys hanging out. No, literally in that picture, I was saying we're never going to hang out again.
See, the thing is, like, he could obviously stay. I mean, that's probably a nice place to stay, but it was more private there than a hotel. So, like a hotel, like, obviously, why doesn't he stay in a fucking the suite in the Four Seasons?
You could have a floor at the Four Seasons if you want. Yeah, what do you need the privacy so much for?
And his security people, did they all stay there? Maybe they did.
They would give you suites for everybody. You're in the royal family. The Four Seasons?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had any contact with him from that day forward.
What did he say when you told him that you were breaking up the friendship?
He was what I would describe as understanding. He didn't go into any great depth in the conversation about what I was doing, or what he was doing, except to say that he'd accepted whatever it was, a plea bargain. He'd served his time, and he was carrying on with his life. You see what I mean? And I said yes, but I'm afraid to say that's as may be. But with all the attendant scrutiny on me, then I don't think it is a wise thing to do.
Who advised you?
That's him again. He's saying, I don't think I can hang out with you because everybody's looking at me and they'll just say things. He's not just sitting here going, I don't hang out with pedophiles, so I'm not hanging out with you because you are one.
This is where British politeness sounds really awful and fake and detached.
Yeah.
This is where that polite talk, I made a decision that I probably shouldn't. It's just not, like you said, Trump's bluntness in the moment.
It was the right answer.
It was the right answer.
It's not proper.
The story to begin with doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make a lick of sense. He goes to New York.
Who flies across the...
we had other things to do in New York.
For somebody who he's seen 2 to 3 times a year.
Yeah, I'm going to be here and go for a walk in the park. We had time.
Bro, it took him 6 months.
I'd love to go for a walk in the park with Prince Andrew.
It took him 6 months to find time in his schedule to do an interview with the BBC. Schedule. Yet he finds time in his schedule to fly to New York from London, to stay in Jeffrey Epstein's house, who's not that close friends with him, by the way, to go on a walk in the park, to tell him we probably shouldn't hang out anymore,
yeah,
to then spend the night at his house after that, hang out there, and then maybe leave the next day, or maybe it was the day after. Not 100% sure. Okay, that makes sense. Perfect sense.
Well, he does explain that.
Oh, okay.
It was a good idea to go and break up the friendship. Did that come from the palace? Was Her Majesty the Queen involved?
No. That came from. So there were a number of people who so some people from my staff, some people from friends and family I was talking to, and I took the decision that it was I had to show leadership, and I had to go and see him, and I had to tell him that's it.
Oh.
She raised another good point, but why didn't you just do it on the phone?
No, that's no problem.
Chicken's way out.
It's the chicken's way out. I like, too, that clearly the palace, the royal family said, you go and you do this interview, but this is about you.
Yeah, don't lump us into this nonsense.
Yeah, did the family give you that advice? No.
Times.
No.
The interview.
No family. No. Definitely not the queen. For sure, not the queen. Nope, not my mom.
Yeah, they said she had to approve it, the interview.
I'm sure. She's fucking queen.
Can you imagine?
But who's approving this?
You're an old man.
Oh, you mean for him to do it?
Yeah.
Oh, not
the verbiage.
Not what happened.
I wonder if she watched the whole thing or just got a synopsis.
I don't think she's watching
Probably
anything.
watched the whole thing.
I don't know. It's her son. It's her son. It's a big one. It's a big one.
You think she knows she failed as a parent?
For sure.
Oh, no.
Anne turned out okay, I guess.
Did she,
Charles.
though, or is he just like Jeb?
He's just the fuck up.
You know?
He's a wild guy. Like, when you have everything in life, like, he's literally been able to do whatever he's wanted his whole life. It's hard to control someone like that.
Yeah, I guess when you're a parent, if you've got one or two that end up okay and a third that's a fuck up, you kind of just got to take it on the chin. That's not on you.
Yeah, Charles is there killing it.
Charles is
hanging out.
crushing, yeah.
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 Let Prince Andrew just do whatever.
You got good grandkids.
She'll strip him of everything.
Who?
Him.
Of course.
He's going to be stripped of everything.
Oh, no. He apparently, after this interview, came back to his mom and said the interview was a great success.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
It was a great success.
Great success, he said.
She
Great
didn't-
success.
Do you think he said that?
I think he did. I think he used that verbiage. I think he said great success. I think he felt like this was a real home run. It was a real humdinger.
Mm.
So, she talks to him about being a guest of honor at a party after the sex offender thing, after all this, which was great too. Let's go to 1D.
After he said we can't be friends anymore?
After he said we can't be
No,
friends.
it's before
I'm
that.
sorry.
Before he said we can't be friends anymore, after Epstein was a pedophile.
No, I thought you said Spider, I'm all right.
That was December of 2010.
Yep.
He threw a party to celebrate his release, and you were invited as
No,
the
I didn't
guest
go.
of honor.
Oh, in 2010, there certainly wasn't a party to celebrate his release in December, because it was a swing.
Wait. So you're saying there was a party that you went to celebrate his release, but not in December? Just trying to look for ways out. You can't go to parties for pedophiles to get out of jail. You can't. You can't go. And it's not because it doesn't look right. It's because it's not a thing to celebrate, you know?
We're only 8 or 10 of us, I think, at the dinner. If there was a party, then I'd know nothing about that.
You were invited to that dinner as a guest of honor.
Well, I was there, so there was a dinner. I don't think it was quite as you might put it, but yeah, okay. I was there at a dinner. Yeah.
I'm just trying to.
Fine.
I mean, you know, do you not eat dinner? We all have to eat. He's like, it wasn't a party. There was only 8 to 10 people. And she was like, so you were a guest of honor.
If you want to put it that way, it's a dinner.
No.
Ed Norton.
Yeah. Either you were at a party or you were a guest of honor because there weren't that many people there. So which
Andrew,
one?
you're a stuttering, mumbling prick.
Let this out, because you said you went to break up the relationship, and yet you stayed at that New York mansion several days. I'm wondering how long.
But I
it
was
would-
doing a number of other things while I was there.
But you were staying at the house of
Yes.
a convicted sex offender.
It was a convenient place to
Look.
He didn't probably expect things to be phrased this way.
No, he doesn't like the phrasing.
No.
He thinks that that's unfair. He didn't realize that she was going to bring up that before they went to in that same trip to New York, before they went to the park for him to say we can't hang out anymore, he did go to a dinner party with Jeffrey Epstein at Jeffrey Epstein's house.
Yeah.
That might or might not have been a celebration of him getting away with pedophilia.
How much shit is he getting from his wife? Oh.
Yeah,
Randy Andy.
Oh.
It's a bad one.
You can't celebrate getting away with pedophilia. It's not a thing to celebrate.
Well, when Jeffrey Epstein's the key to more pedophilia.
That's true. If that's what you're looking
Yeah,
for,
if you,
I guess,
you don't want to lose your connection.
Oh, good.
That's his connect.
That's the plug.
Yeah, he's the fucking Jeffrey Epstein's the prop Joe of pedo. Got the good dope.
I've gone through this in my mind so many times. At the end of the day, with the benefit of all the hindsight that one could have, it was definitely the wrong thing to do. But at the time, I felt it was the honourable and right thing to do, and I admit fully that my judgment was probably coloured by my tendency to be too honourable, but that's just the way it is.
Ah,
Just a great guy.
Yeah,
that's what the
can't
problem
help
is. He's too good of a friend. Yeah.
I'm too honorable.
And then it was like, but you just said a minute ago you weren't that close friends. I know, but even when I'm not that close friends, I'm super, super, super honorable.
Yeah.
It's like in job interviews when they say, what would you say your weaknesses are?
I guess I'm kind of a workaholic. I work too hard sometimes.
Oh, see, that's where I went wrong.
What-
I was honest in my answers.
What do you say?
I steal and piss in the coffee pot.
I guess we can go on to the next one.
Next clip.
Where, so some people around Prince Andrew have been saying the picture of him and the girl that's accusing him is doctored.
Yep.
And so this interviewer does the right thing and goes, hey, what about that picture of you with the girl who you say you never even met her, but there's a picture of you guys together. What about that, though?
His answer here was not good.
You don't think so?
No.
You're not going to give this one an S for solid?
No.
Oh.
Nobody can prove whether or not.
He would have looked better if he said, "I'd rather not answer that because it's going to make me look bad."
You mean like?
I don't want to talk about that.
When they asked him, would you? You're saying you're totally innocent. Would you say that to a court of law? And he was like, I don't know. I have to get legal advice on that. It's like, it should be a really easy answer, no? So here she is. She's asking, do you think the photo was doctored?
Photograph has been doctored, but I don't recollect that photograph ever being taken.
And you don't recollect having your hand round her waist in Ghislaine Maxwell's house on any occasion, even if it was a different
I'm terribly
date?
sorry, but if I, as a member of the royal family, and I have a photograph taken, and I take very, very few photographs, I am not one to, as it were, hug, and public displays of affection are not something that I do.
What a stupid answer.
What?
The answer, what he should have given, was that I take a lot of photographs, and if somebody asked me for a photo, it wouldn't even register. It happens so often. You just take the picture. Yes, that's me. Why we were upstairs? I don't know. She was showing us around. What a dumb answer. He couldn't have given a worse answer.
I don't take many photographs, so it would be near impossible for somebody to Photoshop this because there's not a lot of previous photographs.
And he might not even remember taking that picture. Like, he literally might have just snapped a photo while they were up there. Okay.
Well, they said Epstein took the photo,
Yeah.
which, if Epstein did take the photo, I would imagine it was because he liked to have photos of the powerful people there just in case.
Yep.
Everybody said that Epstein loved collecting potential blackmail evidence just in case he needed it.
Yeah.
And then, unfortunately,
Didn't do him any good.
committed suicide. Yeah.
So that's the best explanation I can give you. And I'm afraid to say that I don't believe that photograph was taken in the way that has been suggested.
Why would people not believe that you were there?
I'm sorry, why would...
Yeah, it was a confusing way to ask it.
Why would people not believe that you were there?
Yeah.
She's saying there's a photo. There's every reason for people to believe that you were there. Why would they not think that you were there?
There's a photo inside Ghislaine Maxwell's house. Ghislaine herself is in the background. Why would people not believe that you were there with her that night?
Well, they might well wish to believe it, but the photograph is taken upstairs, and I don't think I ever went upstairs.
Pause for a second.
An awful answer.
Okay.
There's a picture of you standing there with your arm around the girl.
Sometimes the photos will be false.
I think there's been a photo upstairs.
Photograph was taken upstairs.
You fucking stupid asshole. Just say you went upstairs.
He said he never went upstairs. So how did he know that the photograph was taken upstairs?
And it wasn't, you weren't.
Like, how would he know that that's what the room looked like if he didn't go in the room?
It literally looks like it could be a party atmosphere. There's people there. Someone took it. The woman's there. Just you're looking around the apartment, the house.
It's very possible that I met her at a party. I meet a lot of people at a lot of parties, but I never had any significant interaction with her. Is that so tough?
Yeah.
He's got to say, not only have I never met this woman before in my life, I can confirm that, but I can also confirm that that is a fake photo. Also, I've never even been in that room.
Just so honestly, you probably don't remember most pictures you take. You know, people ask you for photos, you take them.
He's taken very few. He remembers all the photos.
He literally could not have given a dumber answer.
I love it. I remember all the photos that I've taken. So the fact I don't remember this one means
I've taken 6.
Never happened
in my life.
In Ghislaine's house.
You're sure of that?
Do you think the royal family doesn't take that many photos because they're afraid what happened in King Ralph might happen? Do you remember the beginning of King Ralph?
No.
John Goodman became the King of England because the entire royal family got killed in a freak electrocution accident when they tried to take a photo of the whole family. They all died of electrocution. Oh. And the only living heir to the throne left was King Ralph, a.k.a. John Goodman. Great film. Anyway, back to the interview.
Because the dining room and everything was on the ground floor. It was as you came in the hall. So I don't remember ever going up there. I'm at a loss to explain this particular photograph. If the original was ever produced, then perhaps we might be able to solve it. But I can't.
You can't say categorically that you don't recall meeting Virginia Roberts, dining with her, dancing with her at Tramp, or going on to have sex with her in a bedroom in a house in Belgravia.
I can absolutely categorically tell you it never happened.
Oh my God.
Let's bring in Karen. I didn't realize she was here.
We're going to get her.
We still talk about this.
Yeah, Karen Feehan is here. Do we have the clips with like
I don't think so.
Him talking about sweating? Do we have him talking about
sweating clip? No, we did those 4 and then
did those 4 and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, there's clips of him talking about sweating. There's clips of him.
I want to talk about Pizza Express.
Pizza Express. the woman interviewer being flabbergasted at the end of the interview.
Yeah, give me a minute. Hang on.
I have that one.
Yeah, let's
on
get
my
some.
phone. I sent it to Sam.
Yeah,
I just couldn't.
It was that good.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many great moments in here. I don't know how you watch this thing and you don't pull the guy's excuse for not taking the photo, for saying that this is a false story, right? So he's hanging out with this girl. She says he was a sweaty man and he was dancing with her on the floor of this nightclub, blah, blah, blah. Tramp nightclub. And he says the reason that that's clearly a false story is because at the time, not now, but at the time that she's saying that all happened, he had a medical condition and he did not sweat.
Yes. My testicles always smelled fresh.
he lost he had for a period of time in his life lost the ability to sweat, and it happened to be the time that this woman was claiming that he was sweating. So clearly she's fabricating this story. It's not him making up a thing about not sweating. And then unfortunately people did hear that part of the interview and they looked up footage and found photos of him that same period of time appearing to be very sweaty.
And you do have to, like, you have to give an answer a certain way for legal reasons. Like when the woman goes, "Is she lying?" He has to be careful of going, "Yes, she's lying," because then he's opening himself up to defamation.
Yes.
Like there's a way to deny it and say no, but that's where you have to be legally like that. I don't blame him for. Like even if he's being totally honest, there he's got to be a little bit.
But you can have a better cover story.
Yeah.
You know,
than to say, I don't remember. I think they put my head on someone's body. My friend said the fingers are too fat.
Yeah. He also, what is Travis guiding you to here, Troy? Because I don't want to spoil it. Travis, what are you guiding Troy to?
I think this is when he starts talking about whether he was at the bar with her or the nightclub with her.
Is this pizza?
No, this I don't know if this is pizza, but this does lead into the sweat.
Great.
Okay.
Yeah.
She says
Find pizza
she
next.
met you in
I'm going to.
2001. She says she dined with you, danced with you at Tramp nightclub in London. She went on to have sex with you in a house in Belgravia belonging to Ghislaine Maxwell, your friend. Your response?
I have no recollection of ever meeting.
Yeah.
but you don't have
a lot of "you'll never be king." You can jerk off and look at my tits.
Yeah, you don't have to say "I don't recall" every time. If it's definitely
Yes.
a no, sometimes you can definitely say "No, I did not have sex with that person," especially when she was underage. But he's going, I don't remember.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd remember, but
What's
I don't
the legal
remember.
age where he was? Was it that she was underage, or was it that she was like? I don't know what is the legal age?
I think it's 18.
Oh, 18.
I think she was underage. An expert is walking in.
Speaking of underage.
Karen
Hello.
Feehan just walked in.
We're dissecting the Prince Andrew
Oh
interview.
my god, I haven't seen it. I'm such an asshole. I wish I watched it.
It's so great. We've got a great clip
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
for you here. Put those headphones on. Karen
What did he
Feehan,
say? Hey, good
fabulous New York City
But does he acting
comedian.
like he wasn't there? He's in so many pictures.
He's saying he doesn't remember.
He doesn't remember
I don't
her.
remember.
And also he didn't sweat at the time, and she said he was sweaty.
Yeah.
So she's making it up because he medically couldn't sweat.
As a professional sweater.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Did you see the picture they used of you on
You guys are
Instagram?
so mean.
Right. You sweat a lot.
I do. From
Right.
my armpits.
Yeah.
The pits. Yeah.
It's true.
I pit out.
Your
Right.
armpits should be nicknamed Seattle.
It's just a very moist area.
Yeah.
So he's not sweating in this interview? Or
Oh, no, now he sweats. It was just the period of, coincidentally, the period of time that the woman accused him of having sex with her, being trafficked to him when she was a minor. Coincidentally, that same exact period of time, he had a medical condition that he didn't sweat, and she said he was sweaty, which brings the whole story into question.
That really punctures a lot of holes in it. Yeah.
I want to be a Botox.
Right.
Like, what would you have that would prevent you from sweating?
That's what I think. You're right. They inject like Botox in your armpit glands or something.
And in your face, does it stop you from?
Right.
Well, he gets into it. He gets into all the reasons why he really is quite sure that he did not have sex with this underage girl. He's pretty sure. He's got a lot of reasons why he's pretty
Then again,
sure.
this is 2001 too, so Botox. Well, I guess they were doing it then, but was it as big?
Wasn't nearly as big in 2001, but if anybody has access to it, it's the Royals.
That's true. The royal Botox.
Yeah. Although if he did Botox, he probably would have fixed his bottom teeth too.
No, they don't even care. They all look awful over there. So
guess
it's like
so.
they have
just
nothing to
don't care.
compare it to.
Maybe you're right. You're probably right.
The worst dental hygiene.
Yeah, the standards right now. He's a gem.
I mean,
Right.
terrible.
I get what
It's
you're saying. Yeah,
disgusting.
you're probably right.
Yeah.
It is right. They're all brown.
Yellow and brown
That's
and like
right.
pointy. They have like all canines.
That's right.
It's terrible.
Like in front, it's the
yeah,
canine.
yeah.
She says she met you in 2001. She dined with you. She danced with you. You bought her drinks. You were in Tramp nightclub in London. And she went on to have sex with you in a house in Belgravia belonging to Ghislaine Maxwell.
Didn't happen.
Which part?
You can see it in his face, like, I remember the dancing, yes, the dining, yes, and that young pussy. No, it didn't happen, Such a liar.
Because as she's listing it,
Right.
he's going like, yep. Yep. No to all.
Yes. I don't dance. I'm religious, like in Footloose. I don't dance ever.
Dance.
You'd think there'd be outrage.
Yes.
If somebody was like, if somebody goes, here's the list of things that this person said happened, I'd be like, This is a crazy person.
Right.
Not one of those things happened.
Right.
But he's like,
even like, you at Trump nightclub. Like, if he was a real royal, he'd be, heavens to Murgatroyd, Trump nightclub.
Yeah.
I would never.
but
Well,
he's
you're
like,
a liar.
here's the thing. I don't remember that. So I feel like it probably didn't happen.
Or just say you go. I go there a lot. I've danced a lot. Just act like you were drunk and you didn't remember. Like
Sure.
that dance, you know. If your
Right.
friends don't dance, they're no friends of mine.
Right.
Fucking ugly British people.
No. I have no recollection of ever meeting her. I'm almost, in fact, I'm convinced
Almost.
that I was never in trance with her. There are a number of things that are wrong with that story. One of which is that I don't know where the bar is in tramps.
Oh.
No one thought you were going up there to get it yourself.
I know where the bathroom stalls are. I don't know where the bar is.
I've never worked as a parking attendant there.
Do you think they might have had table service?
Yeah,
Right.
bought
Is there
you a
possibility?
drink just means you paid the bill.
I know. Ugh, liar.
He probably just ordered her a drink from somewhere. You know,
Where's the
Right.
bar?
a little drink for her.
Don't know where the bar is.
Just never saw the bar.
Yeah, but plus, like, how big is Tramps?
I'm
I don't
picturing,
know.
like, I don't know what type of place this is, but from the name,
You could probably look around, and within 30 seconds,
Yes.
maybe 60,
yeah.
figure out where the bar is.
I was
Yeah.
drinking at Chase's. We were playing. We were having a trivia night.
I know exactly where that bar is. It's a Cherry Oak.
I'm going to guess walking distance from the dance floor.
Right. No, there's chicks walking around with drinks you can probably just grab off trays.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm
come on.
sure that they make it easy for the royals to get their beverages.
Oh, that's a pretty nice club, obviously.
Yeah, and to get their underage dates beverages too.
Who? What?
I
No.
would never.
I don't think so.
Trumps.
All
or
right.
Mick Jagger leaving there. Yeah, that's a place that a lot of them go.
Yeah.
Same owner as Slags.
Let's go back to it. You went away from it. You left it, Troy. What do you abandoned it? You're losing your mind over there. Just what are you doing?
Oh, that's not.
You're going
good,
back to
that
the same
orange
thing.
cone.
You were right there. There.
I feel like
That's it.
Troy's job security is.
I mean, it is. Yeah, in question to say the least. I'll just say this.
Let's fire him on a Monday.
I hope DJing is going well.
We
That's
sat
all
down
I'm
with
saying.
Troy. We told him we didn't think it was appropriate for him to be doing computer work.
Yeah, we're not gonna fire Troy. We're just gonna say it's not appropriate that we associate with you in public.
Yes.
I don't remember employing him, so
You're so bad at Google that I don't think it's appropriate
Yes.
that we associate publicly.
just kidding, Troy. Did you take my picture yet?
I'm here pressing play. I don't have time
He's
to
a little
take a
busy.
picture.
He's a little busy.
Not really doing.
Your pictures never really turn out all that great anyway.
Okay, look,
so.
you don't need to
Hurtful
take
for no
shots.
reason.
Yes, not
Wow.
nice.
Don't take your frustrations out on
Acting
Karen.
like I
Yes.
started something.
I know, right?
Just hanging out.
Just pulling your pigtails at the playground.
No, it's
A little light flirting.
Light flirting.
Monday morning neg.
That's racist.
I don't drink. I don't think I've ever bought a drink in Tramps.
That rosacea
whenever I
says
was
different,
there.
my friend. Come
Do you
on.
remember dancing at Tramp?
No, that couldn't have happened because the date that is being suggested, I was at home with the children.
Oh.
You know that
The
you
children being the one I was sleeping with.
And when I say home, I mean Jeffrey Epstein's home with some children.
What a liar.
Why didn't he say this earlier?
I don't know. He just came up with it. He's just like, oh, right.
Yeah, he has a good. I
Right,
actually
yeah.
believe this reason. This is very believable.
You do.
Yeah.
Okay.
at home with the children. Was it a memorable night?
On that particular day that we now understand is the date, which is the 10th of March, I
the Ides
was
of
at
March.
home. I was with
That
the
is the
children. I'd
15th.
taken
Whatever.
Beatrice to a Pizza Express in Woking for a party at I suppose sort of 4 or 5 in the afternoon. And then because the Duchess was away, we have a simple rule in the family that when one's away, the other one's there.
When the cat's away, the mice will play. Simple rule.
I remember I was ordering pizza. I called Little Caesars.
Pizza Express. All I could think about
know.
when he said, like, I couldn't have been having sex with underage girls because I was at Pizza Express, I was like, oh, good. Well, luckily, there's never been any grand pedophile cover-up conspiracies tied to pizza restaurants before. So this should really help everybody.
By the way, this is why his answer was because if you're the Duke of York, you have people, assistants, who probably keep records of what you're doing most days.
Right.
If you go to Pizza Express, there's probably a record of it. And that's not a crazy thing if he's like, we went look back through my records and my day planner or what I was doing, and that's where I went.
He didn't say that.
Don't act like you remembered 18 years ago was a Tuesday, it was rainy.
Right.
Who are you, fucking Mary Lou Henner?
I fed the Pizza Express a couple Benadryls, and then I went out to Slags and shagged this little whore.
I ordered a pepperoni and that ball of shite brought me a double cheese.
Plus, what time is he going to nightclubs with underage girls? How young are these girls? If he's like, I couldn't have been at that nightclub because at 4:30 I was at Pizza Express.
Right. What time are things happening?
The club closes at 7:30.
Yes. Tramp open at 4:30.
You know how many fucking blowjobs Mick Jagger's probably got in that dump?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he certainly isn't going to Pizza Express.
No. Not for a blowjob.
No.
Pizza Express. I didn't even know the Royals were allowed to order pizza.
Of course they can get Pizza Express.
Yes, I ate commoner food. And I shit blood for 3 weeks.
I ate like a peasant, then I fucked one.
I couldn't have been at that club because I was at Pizza Express looking for dates.
Yes.
It was a child's birthday party.
Yes, I was fingering a waitress behind a dumpster.
This guy.
Terminal leave at the time from the Royal Navy, so therefore I was at home.
Why would you remember that so specifically?
That's a really terrific question. I have to tell you.
Totally. Like, she just did what you just said. Yeah. Like, how do you remember that?
These Brits are fabulous reporters.
She's great.
She is, but that's a fairly easy question to answer if you have records kept.
No.
Yes, you're right. You're 100% right, Jim.
Right.
Like, why would you remember your Pizza Express? Because my staff knows where I am at all times.
At all times, they're protecting me.
I don't remember where I am a lot of the times, but you know what? If you go back over my calendar, you can see, I was in Ohio that day. Or whatever. It's not that hard to trace.
Lady, I don't know if you heard, but I'm the prince. They write down when I go to Pizza Express.
People know where I am all the time. Yeah. And then I remember, we looked at her birthday, and that was the date.
I guess I just don't understand how being there negates being at Tramps later.
He's eating pizza from Pizza Express.
So he has diarrhea. He can't possibly fuck.
Yes.
That's right.
I was stiff-legging on the ball. I stepped on my squatty potty and twisted my ankle.
Well, unfortunately, he didn't consult with either of you two before he answered that question because, you know,
I just remember
having his staff write down that he had diarrhea would have probably been the way to go.
I love pizza. I remember every time I have pizza.
I've taken 6 photographs. I don't sweat. I've eaten pizza twice, all on the same day.
Exactly.
Pizzagate. It was about me. What?
Meanwhile, this is like 16 years ago, isn't it?
In 18, it was 2001.
2001.
Wow.
You don't remember when you went to Pizza Express in 2001?
I mean,
yeah.
How do they save the records that long?
March 10th.
Well, they would have the record. Meaning his people, if they do, would have his planner records would probably be kept. Sure.
Maybe he celebrates Pizza Express Day every March 10th because that day was such a good time.
He's the Duke. They document everything royal people do.
Yeah. That makes sense.
You know what? You can theorize that all you want, but that's not what he said in the interview.
No, it's not.
So I don't know if that's true.
It makes sense to me, like, because they would be protecting them. They'd be worried about their...
Okay, but that's not what he said.
No.
A Pizza Express birthday and being at home.
Because going to Pizza Express in Woking is an unusual thing for me to do. A very unusual thing for me to do. I've only been to Woking a couple of times.
I respect this condescension, though.
Yes.
Yeah. A man in my position can't afford to be seen in Pizza Express.
Right.
Yes. There was a Jew and a Negro working there.
I wore blackface myself, so I could fit in.
I remember it weirdly, distinctly.
Weirdly. He says, I remember it weirdly. It's almost like I'm being accused of pedophilia and had to come up with something. It's very strange.
I've never seen so many dirty fingernails in my life. Filthy.
I went, oh yes, I remember that.
Who's never been there?
Yeah.
I went like this. Oh yeah, I remember that.
Right.
Go back 2 seconds.
Pizza Express Day. It's a fun day.
So funny.
A very unusual thing for me to do. I've only been to Woking a couple of times, and I remember it weirdly, distinctly. As soon as somebody reminded me of it, I went, oh yes, I remember that.
I want that on my soundboard.
Oh yes, I remember that.
I remember
that. We've all been there when we go like that. Oh, I go like this. Oh yes, I remember that.
I would like that, please.
I think that's a fair request.
Yep.
But I have no recollection of ever meeting or being in the company or the presence.
So you're absolutely sure that you're at home on the 10th of March?
Yeah.
She was very specific about that night. She described dancing with you and you profusely sweating, and that she went on to have bath, possibly.
There's a slight problem with the sweating.
He can't wait to tell us this.
Could you hit pause? You could have just left this detail out.
No, he can't wait to tell us that he's rich enough to have his pores closed.
He thought that this would, like, he's like, oh, I have the ultimate excuse. And it's like, you just watch this and you go, it's not true.
You also have to realize, here's why he can't give that answer. Because he was married. He's also, not only is he trying to defend his reputation against fucking all these girls, Jeffrey Epstein, he's married. So he can't even say, the answer to give would be, yeah, man, I take a lot of pictures. I might have hung out with her. Sure, it's possible I danced with her. There's pictures of me dancing with other people too. I had a few drinks. I go out, I dance. It's possible. I wouldn't have asked her for ID. But he's a married guy. He can't say that because he's probably had to talk to his wife. And she, were you dancing with her? No, I was not dancing with her. They've had this discussion.
Right.
Problem is that he starts the interview saying, like, I don't even know why people say I'm a partier. Like, you know, I was single in the 80s, but ever since I've been married, I've been happy being married.
That's the problem. He's probably married for, what year did he get married to the Duchess? I'm going to guess in 1995. Why would I guess that instead of just saying I don't know?
Because it's important.
Who gives a fuck? Why would I guess?
If you're right, it's going to be
86
fine.
to 96.
What's that?
86 to 96.
That's what he got.
86.
What do you mean?
Oh.
He was married to
Married in
Fergie from 86 to 96.
Divorced in 96.
Oh, I didn't realize he was divorced. So he was single when all this happened?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, so when he says one of us had to be home, that's just co-parenting stuff.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
so he
guess so.
wasn't married. Oh, I'm thinking he's married when this happened.
Jimmy doesn't even have that excuse.
Does he have a girlfriend then? Was
Yeah,
he?
so what is... It's
Just
just something royals aren't supposed to do.
He just friends with Ghislaine Maxwell.
Will they strip his crown or whatever?
I said my prediction was that she will eventually strip him of everything. She'll have to.
Why? He was
Right.
able to make great excuses for everything.
No, I know. But she's probably like, this guy's such a good thinker on his feet. He may overtake the crown.
Right.
Oh, smart. Smart.
Such a diplomat.
Yeah.
He's so smart.
Yeah. You think he did this interview and afterwards he thought to himself, well, that's the end of me being lumped in with Epstein.
Yeah.
Done.
Right, I know. Done skis.
Because I have a peculiar medical condition, which is that I don't sweat, or I didn't sweat at the time, and that was actually, yes, I didn't sweat at the time because I had suffered what I would describe as an overdose of adrenaline in the Falklands War when I was shot at. And
That means he peed his pants. Pussy.
But what he's saying, I think what he's saying is medically,
Right.
he sweat so much
that he
in
got
the
rid of all his
war
sweat?
that there was no
Yes.
sweat left to be sweat. And then it had to collect, and it took years. And so now he can finally sweat again. But during this time, when he was not with the underage girl, he was not able
I
to
was
sweat.
not able to perspire.
This is crazy.
Many call those the pedophile years.
Yeah.
I call them the Pizza Express years.
By the way, the post was funny. They said your royal dryness. That was what they
Well, because he
called him.
doesn't sweat.
That's
What
funny.
year were the Falklands War? Wasn't that 83 or 84? Falklands War, yeah. And just put Falkland Islands.
I think it's spelled
If
Falklands.
Troy spells this right,
There's no.
I'm going to be shocked.
you know, it's,
No, he didn't even. He did not spell it right.
What do you get to F?
you don't even put Prince Andrew. Just put the when was that war?
Yeah.
He sweats so much being shot at. He
Yeah,
sweat all
80
his sweat.
It's in
Okay,
1982.
April of 82 to June of 82.
So if he sweat so much,
19 years later, he wasn't sweating.
he couldn't
Come
sweat
on.
for 20 years. That's how
Yes.
sweaty he was in this war. You don't understand how scary / hot it was.
An overdose of adrenaline.
When you have
Right.
both those things, when you're very, very scared and very, very hot, and also a bit dehydrated,
Yeah.
you sweat a lot.
What do you call Dr. Steve? What am I supposed to do? Just tell me you don't sweat. You got shot at 19 years ago.
It's so fun. That's such a crazy excuse.
Nathan in New York, this is a good call. What's up, Nathan?
Hey guys, listen, I feel like this is really reminiscent of when Austin Powers is going through the unthawing process and he's getting processed down and he's got the Swedish-made penis enlarger pump.
Yeah.
It's not mine, baby.
Right.
One Swedish-made penis enlarger pump, one adapter. That's not mine. That's
The receipt and he's like, Swedish-made penis enlarger pump to me. this sort of thing is my bag, baby.
Oh yeah, thank you, Nathan. He goes like, that type of thing is not my bag. One book, Swedish-made penis enlarger and me. This type of thing really is my bag, baby. By Austin Powers.
Right.
It's not mine.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe it's just we're just experiencing some sardonic British dry wit in this interview.
Yeah.
We don't get it.
I don't get it.
It was almost impossible for me to sweat, and it's only because I have done a number of things in the recent past.
And they've all been 14.
And by things, I mean children.
They've all made me nervous enough to sweat. I did not sweat until Jeffrey Epstein got arrested.
It's like crazy. He's like this crazy old dry man looking for like fountain of youth from young women's vaginas.
He has a damn good haircut, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It is a good haircut. I wonder if his saliva was okay.
Right.
That's what I would have asked. I'd be like, could you still spit?
Yeah. Could you still make a cummer?
Yeah.
How French kiss?
Was it all? Show me.
Show me
how you French.
Gross.
Do that again. So I'm afraid to say that there's a medical condition that says that I didn't do it. So therefore,
Is it possible that you met Virginia Roberts, dined with her, danced with her in Tramp, had sex with her?
He's shaking his head the whole
like
time.
a child.
Exactly,
No.
like a little kid in trouble. No, mommy, was it me?
Here's when you know somebody's probably lying to you. If you have a kid, right, and you're saying, "Is it possible?" and they're already shaking their head, no. Like, I haven't asked you yet. What do you mean, no? I haven't asked you.
Right now he's 6 years old, and his mother is asking him, "Did you put a firecracker in the anus of my Yorkie?"
When you're shaking your head no at "Did you put?" it means you put that firecracker into Yorkie. No, and I didn't shove it in the ass either. I didn't even ask you about that.
Oh, man.
On another date,
no.
do you remember meeting her at all?
No.
Do you know you didn't meet her, or do you just not remember?
No.
Whoa, mind games.
I don't do well with double negatives.
Right.
By the way, the answer there is I just don't remember. Like
Yeah.
I can't know I didn't meet. If I don't remember, it's a weird question. She's just trying to trap him.
She's trying to get
very
him.
slippery of you, Agent Starling.
I like her.
There's a photo of on the New York Post of a woman with her tongue out gripping Prince Andrew's face there, and it says Prince's tail takes a licking.
Well, he doesn't dance very much, and no PDAs. Let me see the go lower.
Oh,
no
man.
public displays of affection.
No PDAs.
No. Oh, man.
That's also fake, and that one's fake. Lots of fake photos. See, here's the thing about him. There's almost no photos of Prince Andrew, is the thing.
Yeah.
I don't know how the Daily Mail got all these photos. They must be the only photos in existence.
He's not even trying to blend in with that outfit either. He's like, oh, I know, well, my navy blazer and my collared shirt,
Oh,
you know?
no.
Like, he looks like a prince.
I got to
or
tell
whatever.
you, Karen Feehan,
What?
apparently within minutes of Prince Andrew's interview, the reviews started rolling in online for Pizza Express.
Yeah.
And one of the reviews was, if you need an alibi, this is the restaurant for you.
Stop. That should be their new tagline.
That's right.
We'll protect you.
Another review for Pizza Express immediately following this interview wrote, I very much enjoyed my visit here, right down to the last slice. I've stayed at many a mansion of billionaires and been to some amazing nightclubs, but I can't remember anything about them. Only my visit to Pizza Express in Woking. So that tells you how much I enjoyed eating there.
So funny.
Unforgettable. That's what you are.
Oh, my God.
Another review says, I can remember every time I have been here and the exact date as well.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great.
So, I mean, what's going to happen? You think he's going to get stripped of his stuff?
Yep.
What, the queen's going to come down?
People keep thinking it's going to go away, but it's too enticing.
Yeah, it's
For the
too
press.
salacious of a story.
Yeah, he's the prince.
Yeah.
How about this one? I definitely came here around 4 or 5 p.m. on March 10th, 2001, ate a whole sloppy Giuseppe without breaking a sweat. Signed, Andy.
The last time I had pizzas, the towers were standing.
More creative.
So there you go. I guess that you want to. I mean, hear a little bit more? I think we were mid-sentence. Okay. I can't get enough of it.
There's one at the end I love, too.
I can't wait to
I
watch it.
don't know if I've met her, but no, I have no recollection of meeting her.
Because she was very specific. She described the dance that you had together in Tramp. She described...
Do you have... I think we have a lot of this. Do you, Travis, have you found the very end when
he says, I'm becoming?
Yeah, she says it was, I'm becoming of you. You remember that part, right?
I remember that part. I don't have that.
I have it on my phone.
I have when she talked about the Palm Beach house and getting massages from women.
Let's go to the very end. You don't on your phone. It doesn't say what the time code was, does it? 'Cause I know you recorded it off your screen.
I don't think so. I just giggled when I heard it.
And I also have when he talked about the last time he saw what's her face.
July.
Jizzy Lane.
No, it was before July.
Oh, okay. Hang on. Stop right there. Stop right.
Sam loves it so much.
It is.
You love it.
My favorite thing that's happened.
Yeah.
Troy, if you wouldn't mind going back
30 seconds.
30 seconds would be a safe bet. This was also an incredible moment that I think Jim and I saw because we actually watched the interview. Jim,
I'm sorry.
No, that's.
I should have.
Karen,
I know.
If I was given the homework, I would have done it.
Really?
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, okay. Let's listen to this is, I believe this is the Jizzy Lane clip that you were talking about, Travis. This is when he talks about the last time that he saw Jizzy Lane, which is...
Who's Jizzy Lane?
She is the girlfriend of Epstein.
The black-haired girl.
Yeah,
short black-haired girl.
That's not her name, Jizzy Lane.
I don't know what her
they
name
call her Ghislaine, but I've heard Ghislaine, but now it's Ghislaine.
I've been calling her Jizzy Lane because I feel like there's all those letters in it.
I like it.
She's in the photo with him that he says is probably a forgery.
Yeah.
But he did continue his relationship with her long after he, quote unquote, ended his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein.
And she's got the pussy keys. She's got all the girls.
Well, that's what they say.
Well,
That's
he knew her
legend.
before from university.
University.
So he met Epstein through her. So it's logical that he would be friends with her.
Actually be friends with her.
Yeah.
I mean, I would think that
That's not weird.
even if I was friends with somebody, if I was like, I can't hang out with your husband anymore or your boyfriend anymore because the pedophile stuff,
Right.
I'd probably be like, and also,
Maybe not you.
since that's still your boyfriend, I need you to also make that choice. Otherwise, we probably can't hang out.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, because it's unbecoming of a prince.
At the time and got a photograph of us. It's one of the very few photographs there are of us, but that was the case.
He's talking about the Epstein photo.
Park.
If there are questions that Ghislaine has to answer, that's her problem. I'm afraid I'm not in a position to be able to comment one way or the
My
other.
name's Paul, and that's between y'all.
Was your last contact with her?
It was earlier this year, funny enough, in the summer, in the summer.
In the spring summer.
Yeah.
You think
That's when it's spring and someone says it feels like summer. And you go,
I'm
yes.
trying to remember if I was sweating or not.
Do you think he remembered the real date and then remembered the date that he was supposed to say?
Yeah.
Okay, because this interviewer again goes to work.
She's good.
She was here doing some rally.
So even though he had by then been arrested and was facing charges of
No,
sex trafficking?
no.
No.
It was early spring, I think. It was long. Because when was he arrested?
July.
No, it was before July. Yeah.
He remembers the specific date 18 years ago.
Did he have pizza?
He went to Pizza Express. But he's a little wishy-washy on the last time he saw Ghislaine Maxwell,
Right.
From
which
this
was 6 months ago, 3 months ago.
Before or after Epstein went to jail.
It was summer. I mean spring, summer. I mean very early spring. I mean before July.
I mean, a May-December relationship.
Yeah. It was. This was like Travis pointed this out. We were talking in the office. It was like when during the Kavanaugh hearing when they were like, "What's a devil's triangle?"
Right.
He's like, "Do you know what quarters is?" They were like, "No." He's like, "It's like that."
Yeah. yeah.
Then I'm assuming there'll be no follow-up questions. Yeah, that's what it was.
That's what it was.
Hey, when was he charged? July. No, it was right before that.
Right before that.
It's definitely before that.
Yep.
Wouldn't have been July.
Did you discuss Epstein at all then?
No, actually, funnily enough, No, not at all. There wasn't anything to discuss about him.
There's nothing
because
to
he wasn't in the
about him.
news. It wasn't. It was just we'd moved on.
That makes sense because
that makes perfect sense. If he hadn't been arrested yet, and they hadn't seen him since 2010, like he said, this is 8 years later.
if you have a friend whose boyfriend you used to stay at his house, and now you don't talk to him because pedophile, you might say,
How's that old pedophile?
"Hey, how's Jeff doing?"
Oh yeah, I mean,
it would probably
sure.
come up. He's saying that it wouldn't have come up
Because he wasn't in the news?
because we only talk about headlines. We only talk about what's fit to print.
Right. I would never talk about someone who's not being scrutinized.
What, you mean a friend just asking how he's doing?
Never.
Never.
Unbecoming of me.
No, we went to Pizza Express. Oh.
What is he even the prince of? Like, what does he do? Who's he in charge of? Is he a philanthropic type person?
He's the queen's son.
Right.
The
They
prince.
all do stuff. They all go out and do charity events and shit.
He's like
that.
Simba.
The
from
Duke
the
of
Lion
He's like
York.
Simba.
Yeah, like
Got
Simba
it.
from The Lion King.
Thank you for breaking it down for me like that.
Jay in Vegas.
I just want to say thank you so much. I've been roaring with laughter all the way through this. This is brilliant. And yes, you've guessed it. I'm one of their subjects, in inverted commas.
I love that. I can't believe what you Brits, the enjoyment that you guys get to have. It's incredible. I think I am disgusted that when I look at the news this morning, CNN's covering impeachment stuff. Fox News is spending half their morning talking about Kanye West and Joel Osteen.
Ugh.
Nobody's sitting here saying the greatest interview of all time happened in England, and we need to cover this.
You know what's amazing is that I think that you have just beautifully, forensically examined each answer. And I think anybody, even the British people, just scratch their head. Obviously, the Pizza Express thing is going to be re-examined and re-examined. But, I mean, as overall, as a person who's kind of vaguely in that field, I mean, this is car crash. And thank
Start to
you.
finish.
Tell more people about the car crash.
Shout out
Love
to Princess Di.
Thank you.
Yes, this is Paris tunnel level.
Yeah, this is the worst accident that has ever happened to the royal family.
And they advise him. I guess they know that he's not. He probably thinks he's smarter than he is because at a dinner party he's the guy that dominates the conversation. But the difference between him and a guy like Clinton or other politicians who dominate conversations, they're used to people coming back at them because they have debates. They have debates and they have to fight policy and they have these things of back and forth and always explaining your position. Mm-hmm. He doesn't have that. Mm-hmm. He's a guy who just holds court.
Right, he gets yes to death.
Clinton's also smart enough to not talk about it. What possible benefit would there be to answering the Lolita Express?
Where did this interview stem from? Were they trying to get an interview?
They're giving
with
him so much shit, and he wants to continue with his public life. I think he's just sick of sitting in the house.
He's trying to get back to tramps. He's like, they won't let me in. Everybody thinks I'm a pedophile. I got to change this.
I want to hear at the. We're almost done.
We have
you got that one.
Yeah, we have
her face. She can't hide it. This is what's so great.
Yeah.
I want
that she doesn't believe him, or
she can't believe he just said it.
Yeah.
It's so silly.
I want to end on this. This
Very
is the clip
British.
that you sent me last night. This is the Jim Norton clip of the interview.
Yeah.
It just never happened.
You've talked about a thick skin.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if you have any sense now of guilt, regret, or
Hang on. You said the question started at.
Yeah, the question started at 47, but you can go to 48 just to get the.
I got blue balls now, Troy.
Yeah.
Do I regret the fact that he has quite obviously conducted himself in a manner unbecoming? Yes.
unbecoming? He was a sex offender.
Yeah.
Her face.
Yes, I love this bitch.
She's so.
I hope her career pops off after this.
She's emotionless, and in this one, she can't believe he just said that to her.
She's like unbecoming.
Her
he raped children.
And he apologized. He's like, "I'm sorry, I was trying to be polite."
What an icon. Yes, bitch.
Can I see that again? Her face is so great.
He's a sex offender.
Because how do you respond to that when you're Prince Andy?
Right.
Like, how do you, when she goes, he's a sex offender, and she looks at him like, you sick pervert.
Right.
You idiot.
Like, well, don't.
I'm not a. I'm sorry. I'm trying. He apologized. I was trying to be polite.
Right. Well, it's good that he's trying to be polite to the pedophile.
A man unbecoming.
Right.
Again, that's where this way of communicating sounds awful.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound accurate. And again, I know that politeness is one thing, and they don't get emotional, but it sounds very detached, and none of it sounds just the way people speak.
Totally.
Across each other. Do I regret the fact that he has quite obviously conducted himself in a manner unbecoming? Yes.
Unbecoming. He was a sex offender.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm being polite, in the sense that he was a sex offender.
You can't even say it.
It's like Fonzie's trying to say wrong.
I can't. It's so like, I'm trying to be polite. I'm sorry, you are a sex offender.
Sex offender.
Oh my gosh.
It's unbecoming. It's
was I right in having him as a friend at the time? And bearing in mind this was some years before he was accused of being a sex offender. I don't think there was anything wrong then.
Before they caught him, it was fine.
Yes, exactly.
What a nice carpet.
Really is. It's a great setup they got in Buckingham. Yeah. Hopefully he gets to stick around. Yeah. You don't want to get thrown out of Buckingham Palace, have to find a one-bedroom.
He is going to get the hot boot.
Mm.
Yep.
They don't even have AC in a lot of apartments in England.
They don't. Europe
going to be a bummer.
For AC.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's all old buildings. It's not good.
They don't. Think they'll give him like a parachute, like throw a couple jewels in his pocket? And
I hope so. Like maybe a scepter.
He'll have money. Like they'll probably give him some money, yeah.
Scepter.
He'll take out the jewels of the scepter, try to pawn them. Prince, the scepter of the royal family is a very rare item.
These are the jewels from the scepter. Don't put the royal dishes where they're going to fall.
You can call it your sweaty scepter.